What's up, guys? It's your boy Darkskin, and today we're going to be doing our PvE tier list. This is going to be for everything outside of PvP. Now, if anybody wants to know the PvP tier list, don't worry, I will have that in the next video. I will be dropping these back to back so you guys can understand everything around all of that. So anyways, this is going to be the PvE tier list. You know, how stronger characters in the world, how are they, and you know, just everything PvE. So starting off, we're going to be starting with Crow. Now, Crow is easily S tier. Initially, I thought that he was gonna be like B tier if you had no dupes, A tier if you had some dupes, S tier if you had a lot of dupes, or like if you really knew how to use the character. But that was based off of the knowledge of him playing normally. But if you guys don't know, which everyone should, you know, Crow right now just literally spams jetpack dive over and over. He gets like insane amount of damage, like very ridiculous amounts of damage. Apparently he got nerfed on the CN version, and he might be getting nerfed on global or whatever, but and I don't, until that happens, he is S tier. He is literally the best DPS in the game, like easily. So I think he's in a league of his own. Like I'd put him in S+, SS. He's pretty much in. Well, I wouldn't say he's in a league of his own, but we'll get into that. Samir, we're putting Samir A tier. I think Samir's a very good character, but with how ridiculous Crow is, she cannot compete, like at all, to no degree. And this is PvE, by the way. Meryl. I mean, I think Meryl's fine. I think she's decent, and the reason why I say she's decent is because she is on Frigg's team. Like, she's on the best team for Frigg right now, and then Frigg's pretty good. So I definitely think Meryl is pretty good. She really good shield break, and with Frigg, she gets even better shield break, right? Moving on to Huma. I think Huma's B tier. She, like, let's say you don't have a designated shield breaker on the Volt team or the Frost team or whatever the case may be. I feel like she is a very good unit to put in the slot, simply because she does have 10 shatter and 10 charge, and she has so many multi-hit moves. The shatter is going to happen really fast. So I think Huma overall is a very decent pick. I love Huma still, but yeah, I think that she goes there. Now, as far as Coco, I feel like Coco is A tier, and the only reason why I say this is because, one, she is Frost, so if you wanted to run her on Frigg's team, you could. Two, she's one of 2 healers in the game, right? There's only 2 healers that are SSR, right? I know Pepper's an SR, but we're not talking about SRs because SSRs are going to be better. Yeah, she is one of 2 healers in the game. There's not much sustain in the game, so she's like a hot commodity. She's a limited resource. So that's why I put her A. Moving on to King. I think King is A tier as well. You know, has Shatter, DPS. He has DPS passive. He generally is on the Crow team, and that's kind of carrying him. Like, if he had no team to go on, because he's fire. So if he had no team to go on, he'd drop to like B, but like he's on Crow's team for the simple fact he can give him DPS passive. That is it. DPS passive and shatter. Outside of DPS passive and shatter, he would be B tier because he wouldn't have to go on that team, but he does. So there you go. Now, you don't have to run him on that team, but it's like there's literally no point in running anything else because you won't get DPS passive. Moving on to Shiro. I think Shiro's C tier, and the reason why I say that is because she just has no place in any team, right? Why would you run her as a shatter unit over Meryl, King, and Huma? Now, once Claudia releases, it'll be a different conversation, but Claudia's not out yet, so we can't talk about that. But yeah, as far as right now, Shiro is easily C tier, just not that good. You can run her if you like her, but generally you just wouldn't run this unit, right? That's just not what's going to happen. Moving on to Tsubasa. Tsubasa is A tier. With C1. If you have C1, she's A tier. Without C1, she drops to like BC. I'm gonna put her in B. I think Tsubasa with her C1 is A tier, but that means you would have to have pulled her 1 and 2, got a dupe of her, which I still have C0 Tsubasa. But yeah, so we're gonna put this here as far as, you know, B tier, because generally a lot of people, and not to mention with her C1 you have to dash 3 times. If you get her C3 you have to dash once. So I feel like B tier is fine. Moving on to 0, literally just an AFK farmer. I don't like, almost no one uses him, and the people that do use him, they ended up pulling him 3, 4, 5 times, so they want to use him just because they got a whole bunch of dupes. Literally just not good, and I don't think he ever gets good. But he's an AFK farmer. You can farm mounts, you can farm honey, you can farm a whole bunch of different stuff. So that's really nice. Moving on to Nemesis. Nemesis is the only character that's up there with Crow, and they literally go on the same team, and they have 2 different jobs, so they work literally in tandem together. Like I said, right, so like this, like with Nemesis, she makes Crow A tier, because Nemesis is a support, so she can't give Crow DPS passive, but she does give Crow resonance. So now Crow needs a shatter that is a DPS. Samir's not, Meryl's not, Coco's not. So King becomes the best slotted character for Crow, and that's exactly why he is A tier. Otherwise, he'd be down here. But yeah, there you go. And then moving on to Frigg. I think Frigg is A tier right now, and the reason why is she 100% does not do more damage than Crow. I don't even think she does more damage than Samir Nemesis if you're running that as well. But she does have a solid ice team, and if you do have this ice team built, she can out damage Samir. She's not out damaging Crow, it's just not gonna happen. But if you are running Frigg, Meryl, Tsubasa, and you have like Tsubasa C1 or C3, C3 is even better, but if you do have her C1, you can get that attack buff. If you do have like C1 to C3 and Frigg, that's going to be making them go really well. Meryl, you don't really need any dupes, but her C1 does give her increased shatter. So it's like that team is a really good team. You can also run Frigg, Coco, Meryl if you wanted to. And then if you really didn't want to run Meryl, you can just, you know, shatter with Frigg and run Frigg, Coco, Tsubasa. But the point is, it's a really solid team as far as, you know, Frigg goes. So she is A tier in my opinion. Now from left to right, this is not in order, but from up to down, it is in order, right? Because like we can easily say Tsubasa is better than Huma. Like this is not in order from left to right. But anyway, I think, you know, best teams as far as PvE goes right now is Crow, King, Nemesis, Samir, King, Nemesis, and then Frigg, Meryl, Tsubasa. Those are gonna be like the 3 general teams that you know, in order, first, second, third of best teams for PvE. They generally, but those 3 teams generally can do anything in the game. If you have any of those 3 teams, you're perfectly fine. That's not to say any other units or any other teams can't work, because I used Huma for a large part of the game. I see a lot of people still using Shiro. They can work. It's just not going to be as good or optimal or efficient. So there you go as far as the PvE tier list and what you guys can look at and expect people to generally be running right now. Obviously, we will be getting these other characters very soon or eventually, and when we do, I will add them to the list, and I will change the list based off of all of that stuff. So anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, comment down below, tell me what you guys think in the comment section. With that being said, I will see you guys next time. Peace.